Assalamualaikum and very good day to all viewers. Thank you for joining me today. I would like to present to you the topic on effective job interview. Without further ado, let's start. Okay, shown on the slide is the two types of statistics by Department of Statistics Malaysia. It shows that there are 2.3% of total workforce in Malaysia who are unemployed, and the statistic dominated is by fresh graduates who are unable to find a job after 6 months of graduation. And there are 4-to-1 ratio of job hunter to vacancy available in 2018, which create highly competitive market. This scenario is an opportunity for organizations to utilize and acquiring the best possible candidate as part of organization workforce. This kind of responsibility is held by Human Resource Management Department, who actually have a few functions such as staffing, recruitment and selection. We will go further into selection next. After that, human resource development, compensation and benefit, safety and health, and also work relations. For the first step, in interview session, we must gather all information necessary about the candidate. There are two types of gathering information. The first one is information source. The first one would be application form and resume, which is the personal background, educational info, skill and ability listed down, and we can find it there. After that is references and background checking, which will validate all information and add on into info that is not stated at the resume and application form. Biographical information blank, BIB. After that is polygraph test, which is the lie detector machine procedure. And after that is honesty and integrity test, which is to measure both honesty and integrity, especially for employee working in the banking sector. Graphology is basically a writing test to determine the personality of the writer. And finally is the health examination. Through health examination, we can conduct either the candidate is a fit for the job, and also we can test drug we can do the drug test to the candidate, so that we can determine is there any abuse of the drug. After that, the second type of method gathering will be employment test, which is specific ability test. Specific ability tests require specific ability to do the job. Tests on abilities to perform jobs such as mechanical, clerical, and sales. For physical ability tests, there are tests on the strength and stamina that usually found in enrollment of firemen and military force. For cognitive ability test, the test is to measure candidates' ability to learn something new. Job knowledge test is the test to determine candidates' knowledge in certain area of job such as accounting and law. Work sample test is a simulation or situation-based test that can predict candidates' behavior in the future. Personality test will determine the candidate's personality through 5 dimensions, which can be found in my manual. And then moving on to the next slide is the definition of interview. Okay, for interview, the formal meeting between two or more people where the interviewer asks questions to interviewee in order to obtain information. As job interview, conversation between a job applicant and a representative of an employer, which is conducted to assess whether the applicant should be hired. Type of interview. There are 5 types of interview, such as planning, number of people, abilities, facilities, and tasks. This is the kind of type interview that this is the 5 aspect or factor that will influence the type of interview. And for planning, there is 2, which is structured and unstructured. For structured, it's a traditional form which consists of standard format set for all candidates. Unstructured form is opposite of structured, and the interview may deviate and turn it into conversational interview. For number of people, there are personal, group, and panel. For personal, this is the most common type to evaluate candidate is a one-on-one basis or a few interviewer to one candidate. And a group interview consists of a few people given a task and evaluate their performance based on the task given. The best performance will be hired. As for panel interview, it consists of senior level officers as panel interview. And the abilities type of interview consists of behavioral and problem solving interview, whereas behavioral is regarding past work experience to predict the candidate's future performance, whereas problem solving interview is more concerned on problem solving capabilities, which is the analytical skills. As for facility setting, is a job fair interview, whereas organization conduct mini interview to filter candidates' qualifications to proceed further short and brief interview to help in educational institutions. For task type of interview, there is 3: apprentice, evaluation, and promotion. Apprenticeship is commonly found in training program in organization, whereas evaluation interview consists of fixed set of questionnaire to avoid bias in organization. And then promotion interview conduct to assist employee who seeks higher position in an organization. Next, moving on to the next slide is guidelines for effective interviewing. First of all, we have to gather all necessary information so that we can get the right, we can well inform of candidate's background, personal, education, skill, and ability. Next one is list all questions related to the job vacancies. This is done to get the right assessment about the candidate and ask about roles and responsibilities of the job. The third one is prepare an outline of the interview. It's so that we can plan the direction of interview to review candidate properly, especially when the time is constrained. Build rapport is by greeting the candidate with a smile, handshake, and allowing them to sit down to ease the nerves and get a proper information from them. Be a responsible interviewer, which is to avoid negative question, bias, and stereotyping. Be a good listener to understand the candidate. Next, we discuss the steps in avoiding bias, which is the first one is to standardize the process. Create a standard list of questions to all candidates. Make a note down all comments, opinion, reaction during interview, and it is helpful when comparing candidates at the end of the session. Use a rubric. This is as a guideline to the characteristics and qualities organization looking for in the new hire. It helps avoiding too much credit and keeping things balanced. The final one is get input from others. Getting feedback from other interviewers and compare the data with other interviewers actually can result in better decision making. And the final steps of selection is the process of reaching selection decision. There are 3 steps. The first one is simplifying candidate information. Can do and will do. What remain of can do and will do? The first, after session, interviewer can determine which candidate is capable of can do and motivated to will do. Organizations prefer to choose can do over will do because they possess the skill needed to do the job rather than providing training to will do candidates. Decision strategy. There are two types that can be used. There are two types of approach that can be used for decision making, such as clinical and statistical approach. For clinical approach, they actually review all data on candidates and select them based on understanding of the job before reaching the decision. Hence, it is subjective in nature. Whereas the statistical approach is more objective approach and more accurate than a clinical approach. Evaluate through statistical data and highest score is selected. As for final decision, the shortlisted candidates are then referred to a department with vacancies. They are interviewed and evaluated by manager or supervisor, which then make the final decision. The manager will deliver the result to the HR department and HR will notify it to candidates and make the job offer to successful candidates. Okay. As for conclusion, highly competitive market for job vacancies, creating opportunities for organizations to acquire more suitable and promising candidates to join the workforce, thus expanding the organizations further. As for potential candidate is selected through several stages of screening, interview and evaluation before the final decision is made. That's all from me. Thank you for watching.